Hi. We are all live on everywhere, it seems like. So I am now live on YouTube and Instagram, and for the first time on Instagram. And welcome to everyone on Instagram. I can do this on my phone, so it's one of those places. So I'm Natasha Venter. I'm an intuitive personal awareness life coach. And today I decided to go live on YouTube. So I'm doing this on my phone and then on my major computer. So welcome to me to do this on new technology that I'm able to do now. So welcome, welcome. So if I'm a little distracted, it's because I got two things to do work out. So I am here on Thursday. Usually I'm live on Wednesday. But me being one who does a lot of work with the intuitiveness and doing things with the universe of love, I love to support people doing their life. Well, I usually am live on Mondays and Tuesdays, or let me get my brain together here. Sorry about that. I'm usually here on Mondays and Wednesdays, 4 o'clock p.m. On YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram and Twitter. With that I love to support people doing their work, doing what they need to do, loving who they are. Well, I was supposed to be live yesterday on Wednesday, but I was driving, and life puts you where you're supposed to be. Well, I was meant to be in a car with someone who is very wonderful. And where we were coming from was I do house clearings. I believe in spirits everywhere. I believe in working with the universe of love. Well, I had a good friend who ended up buying a house that wasn't at all quiet. It actually had someone in there that he was pretty powerful in the spirit world. I would claim, you see these videos where, churches are haunted, right? Well, some of those spirits, I wouldn't call them devils, but they are not good energies. They're not good spirits. Some of these spirits have been people who have been very negative in their lives, and they took on, when they became in spirit, that negativity. And then in spirit, they learned how to be manipulative. Well, this being that was in my friend's new house ended up being one who became a shapeshifter. He knew how to apply himself so he could become a child. He could become whoever he wanted to be. And this entity, I'm going to call him because he turned into that, became very aware of how to navigate his story. And he had been in that house, that property, because the house wasn't always there, but yet, some energies can keep that property, keep to that property, and they just adapt to whoever built whatever on. And that as we go forward and navigate through what we're going through, it's been amazing how those energies become what they do. And many of us move into these homes where spirit has been there, and we're just newcomers to it. And they claim to this property that they're theirs. Well, the previous owner of this house was there for 40 years. And she said, nah, we don't hear anything, just a footstep here or there. But oh my gosh, what ended up happening was this major spirit who took dominion, or he took ownership over everybody. He put everybody kind of in under an umbrella. He put them in his dimension, so that these spirits, he would be a collector. So he collected spirits who would pass, and they wouldn't know who he truly was because he cloaked himself. So he would give them promises that this is the place where he was needing to be. They were needing to be, and so he would collect spirits. So this house I couldn't even count how many spirits were in this house. I mean, it was amazing how many spirits were in this house. And as this being, I'm going to call him this spirit, this entity came on, and many others kind of have some of these, these are the ones where you see things flying off you watch these shows where things are flying off the walls, and well, there's different levels of ickiness in this world and spirit. And I don't want anybody to be afraid, but there are people like me who can take care of it. Well, luckily, my girlfriend who moved into this house, she's very intuitive herself. She knows how to do things. Well, what ended up happening is that her and I worked together and cut cords. Well, we've been working on this house for a while now, ever since she knew she was going to get it, and she knew this house was possessed, I would call it. That we were doing some work. Well, I work with angels. And in that working, I can navigate through some of those, some of those beings. Well, what I did is that I called in Archangel Michael, Archangel Azrael. Well, Michael, he's the warrior, right? Azrael, who's the angel of death. Samedi Baron, who, if you look in New Orleans and a lot of that, well, he's in that religion where he works with also the dead. Well, Azrael and Samedi Baron works in the human form. He works on this side, where Azrael works on people who cross over, and he helps them to cross over. So with that we were working together, and then I asked Jesus to come in. Jesus is amazing with the love, the grace that he is. So taking those 4 pillars, because Azrael is a pillar. Now, Azrael is a pillar. Now, Samedi Baron is one that, and I don't want to push anybody's belief system here. Yet, thank you very much for thinking me that way. That as we go through life, well, Samedi Baron is one that he's a jokester. I mean, like he says, to many of us, you're going to be skin and bone sooner or later, so just enjoy life and be who you are. Doesn't matter what shape you are. You're going to be skin and bones anyways. So with that, take advantage of life now. Yet at the same time, Samedi Baron also says that he works with Azrael, who is love, grace, and he is the ultimate timekeeper. So with that them working together on either side of the veil were able to help us. So working in this house that we were working with, it was amazing. Now, I'm going to tell you that once you clear an entity out of a house, many times the other spirits who were taken in are finally like, their lights come on. They're like, wow, I actually was not necessarily where I thought I was. And as we were walking around, there was, different energies of children to elder. And it was just amazing. I couldn't even keep track of how many spirits were in this house. And, this child that was underneath, and these are all spirits that I'm talking about. This child that was underneath, he passed away when he was a child, was underneath this little, I don't know, because spirit can fit in places. And so they were underneath this little like shelf area. Sometimes they sit underneath stairs. That he was just so scared. And my girlfriend who was doing the incense, and it's a kind of a resin type of incense, and it's you can clear out major stuff with this stuff. That like she said, Natasha, you deal with this one because of the fact that I can take the time with the spirit. And the spirit just needed a hand and just knowing love. It was just amazing to see all these different spirits that were in. And you know, this woman who owned the house before, and some of the stuff was still in the house because of the fact that she was graceful to let my friend come in a couple days early so she didn't get everything out. And you know how people sometimes forget about a picture that they've seen for years on a wall? Well, there's this one picture. This is what people don't realize sometimes is that they collect things. And these things that we collect, like pictures, furniture, have entities attached to them, have spirit attached to them. Well, there's this one picture. I can't understand why this poem put this there. But in this bathroom, you walked in, and if you sat on a toilet, there's a picture over the doorway of a woman that would look in the mirror as you sat on the toilet. This is one thing that this woman who lived there for 40 years navigated with. I'm like going, holy crap, that picture's possessed. It has an energy with it. And it was just amazing that once you took down that picture, took it outside, that energy went with that picture. One less spirit in this house. You know, I was just amazed at how everything was. And this is something that we drove 4 or 5 hours to do. And then we did this work for about 3 or 4 hours. And then we ended up, after the basement was cleared out of this one energy that, oh, he was just negative. And it was amazing who took him, because I know that I asked Azrael, Sam de Baron, Jesus, and Raphael actually came in too. And Raphael is the angel of Reiki energy, and having them hold this spirit there, this entity there in this one space. It was amazing who came and got him. And I'm not going to explain who came and got him, but it was just amazing, the work, the different dimensions, the different energies who really wanted to help us out. And that's the thing is that I want people to know that when you have something really negative feeling in your home, please, unless you know what you're doing, call somebody in to help you out to do a house clearing. Because some of these energies, like for us, there was, my friend, her husband, and then a friend that drove over, helped move, and then and that friend who helped move over, she knew who Jessica and I are, but yet she was pretty innocent in the lifeline of who she was, and in knowing of spirit. And you know I knew when I left that house, I was clean. Jessica, or the person who bought the house, she knows that she's going to have to navigate it, but she's pretty clean too because she knows how to protect herself. Yet we have to know that as we do clearings, excuse me, that many times they can attach to us. And many of us do that. Now, if someone is one who goes to the bar a lot, many times you can collect an energy on you, and they bring them home, and then here you start getting things moving around your house, right? Well, that's why we need to smudge a lot. That's why we need to do some work together. And as we go through life and manage life, we're going to get collections in our house. We're going to get spirits in our house. That's called life. And if we're a bright light, if we're someone who is full of energy, full of light, love, that we will get that. And we'll get those. And sometimes we don't know why we're in a funk. Well, sometimes it's the energies out there, like if there's a lot of depression, if there is a lot of navigation through life and things like that will have funk because of just the energy out there. But then there's sometimes where we get attachments, and we have to be careful of that. So if someone goes to the bar a lot, if they're around a lot of negative people, or let's say if you drink a lot or do things like that, you're going to end up with having something attached to you, and that doesn't help you become lighter and safer. Okay. So I want you to know that as you're going through life and as you're managing life, that if you feel like you're not quite yourself, check in with that And you can call in Michael, Azrael, Jesus, whatever you believe in. They don't care what you believe in. They want us humans to be help us be better. And so with that, that if you're feeling like not yourself, or you have a loved one that's not quite themselves, ask Azrael or Michael or Jesus to come in and say, get this thing off of me, clear me out, and that can help. The thing is, though, if they're in your house, I would suggest that you would call in somebody like me who can help you. Now, I'm one that I can help clear a house even if I'm not in it. I have that knowing in me, and I can work with the energies around. Sometimes it does help to be in the house, like with my girlfriend's house. That was nice to be there because of navigating through those waters. But I know I've cleared out some energy in several houses where they were like, boy, it feels better already. Yes, because I know how to navigate with spirit. I've I've done it enough. I've worked with evil enough. Now, there's sometimes where if somebody says, "Can you go clear this church out?" I'll say no because of the fact that nobody's going to claim ownership after it. And that is the difference that can make it. If you live in a home and somebody comes in and clears the house, you have to take ownership over that home so that as you're working through life and navigating through life, that when you have spirits in your home, claiming ownership can help. Please, though, you call in someone who knows what they're doing. That will make a huge difference. Be aware that there are different levels of energies. Now, I have a woman in my house, and she's part of the home. She's pretty much protector of the home, and that's okay. Just like my girlfriend who moved into this house, the owner of the house, the builder of the house, is staying in the house for right now, and that's okay because of the fact that she is helping manage the home. Now, I had to ask the woman who lives in my home if she could be careful, especially when my kids were younger, because of the fact that she would scare them when she was checking on them. And so I had to tell her some PDQs on how to to stay around my kids. So with that, knowing that as we go through life and managing life, that no matter where we're at, things are happening. And I'm hoping that you guys can hear me on Instagram. I'm going to put my volume up here. That when we're going through life and managing life, things will happen to us. So just be aware that there's nothing wrong with saying, "Hey, I need help here." You know, spirit is pretty strong. And I know, like with my another girlfriend that I have, that she had three intuitive children. She was a bright light herself. She lived next to a graveyard. Her house was always busy. Thing is, though, she did not always take ownership of her home, and she didn't put up guardians, a grid to protect her house. Now, if somebody was to look in my house, they would see on the front porch gargoyles. I have dragons inside of in my windows. I also have angels hanging in my windows because I live next to a graveyard. That's about, I can walk out and go down about 3 houses and there's a graveyard there. And that as I go through life, I've made sure my house is protected. Nobody's allowed. Now I can tell you my girlfriend knew about moving over to the other side of the mountains that we knew who we were going to have to deal with. As soon as we tapped in the energies of that house, being intuitive, we knew who we were going to work with. So we started working on that energy ahead of time. And people say, "Oh, took a video of what we did, and I'm going to post it once they edit it and that kind of thing." That as we were working on that property, people might think that, oh, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, it was done. Oh, no, we started working on that property a month ago and started calling in the energies to help. So when we ended up going through that energy and working with that entity in that house, we were able to navigate it with it a little bit differently because we had a knowing of it. We had a knowing of it. So with that, when you want to have somebody come in, you want somebody who knows their stuff, not a newbie who says, oh, yeah, I know what I'm doing. Oh, no. And, these people who go in and, they have these equipment that say, oh, yes, you have spirits. Let's talk with them. If you want to get rid of an energy, you need someone who knows that about house clearings, medicine men. You want somebody who's intuitive medium, probably, who knows the techniques to clear, and trusting the process. Because I know that my friend who was with us videotaping, she had some questions. She had a little bit of anxiety. And I can tell you that we slept in that house that night. Oh, that was interesting. Because the house was it was not empty by any means. There were still spirits, because as you take something out that was so controlling, finally, when they get that controlling off, a lot of those spirits start uncloaking themselves. Well, I slept in a room where the closet, like my girlfriend who, she went in there before I went in there because I was doing some work afterwards, walking behind her. And when she cleared in, she opened up the door and I was, oh my, how many spirits more can fit in this closet? Because I mean, they were so cram packed. Well, then, after she cleared out a lot of them and asked them to go home, and asked the Raphael and a lot of the angels to help clear out and take people home to the light, that there's this one spirit. I slept in a bed. Well, I moved the bed just a little bit in front of the closet so my mental mind wouldn't feel like it would open up and scare me in the middle of the night. So I put something in front of it so it wouldn't open up. And I used rocks. So I used amethyst and another protection stone. And I have this statue of Mother Mary that's in kyanite, and kyanite repels negativity. Well, I had her sleeping with me, so I had protection around me. But when I woke up, I had to laugh, because the fact that the spirit that was in there, he had a bottle of whiskey, and he was sitting there on the floor, so drunk that he just couldn't be, because he was finally feeling good. Well, I talked to him and asked him to I had to laugh with him, and feels good to be out from underneath that negative, whatever you want to call that entity. And he says, yeah, finally I'm out from underneath him. And then I couldn't deal with him in his drunkenness. That wasn't to honor that spirit, but I had told my girlfriend and she's going to take care of him. But it was kind of funny that finally he was relaxed enough to be who he was. It just was amazing to work in this house. And sometimes you know your stuff, but going into a house like this, you really truly know when you know your stuff. Because none of this bothered me. None of this scared me. Now, ask me to watch a scary movie, not gonna do it. Well, my dreams kind of add to it anyway, so I don't need to have my dreams add to it more. But it's just funny how everything is going. And any of these newcomers, I'm just wanting you to know, you can please comment if you'd like. Please keep the comments to respectful of what the conversation's about, please, because of the fact that I really want to keep this professional. But I am now first time live on Instagram, and they're on my phone. So if I kind of talk about things that are going on, and I'm also live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter on my computer. So, and I can't get live on Instagram on what am I on? StreamYard yet. So I just wanted to say that if things are a little bit wonky, that's what I'm doing. And I just thought that this conversation was kind of good to go on Instagram. Well, in the next, probably 20 minutes, 10 minutes or so, I'm going to do some intuitive card readings. Okay. So if you would like to have a card reading, please comment in the box here in just a few minutes. So I have fairy, I have kind of like an oracle card, I have angels, and I also have animals. So I also have animal cards. I also have in here, I took these with me and I haven't unpacked all the way. I was so tired last night when I got home because I also have oracle cards that have different meanings. So when I get to that point, I would love to do some intuitive card readings for someone. I also have fairy cards. So these are fairies. This card deck is, I hope I got to show here too. This card deck is actually what fairies look like. People think that fairies are like Tinkerbell. Oh, no, 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 no. Oops, sorry, that's upside down. That when we're working through life and navigating, this is truly what fairies look like. And doesn't he look like, on some of those shows that you see, I watch a lot of the Can You Believe It type of shows, or Is This in This World? Well, can you picture this being long-legged and kind of walking like doom, 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 doom? That's one of those fairies that they catch a lot of times on cameras, and some of them are jokesters. So I also have this deck. Now, this deck I have to read a little bit on because of the fact that I'm not so in tune with this deck. I am with the fairies, but not necessarily, or the fae, but not necessarily in, what's the word? In knowing what they want to tell us. So I'd have to read on that. And right now, like I said, that I was supposed to be I'm usually live on Wednesdays at 4 o'clock Pacific time. And I'm going to start coming on Instagram at that time also. That as we're walking and going forward, Veronica, you said, let's see, let me get this going here. Managing a couple places here. So Veronica says, my favorite cards. Yes, I agree. And your volume and everything on Instagram is great. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you, Sue, for checking for me. I really appreciate that. Because going live for the first time, I'm excited. I am so excited. I want to get, I know there's a lot of intuitives out there, yet not everybody has integrity. And I want people to know someone who is intuitive, a medium, who knows about different worlds, past lives, different dimensions. Like my girlfriend in this house was saying, my house is going to open up to so many dimensions. And I go, which one do you want me to help you represent? Because of the fact that I work with so many different dimensions, I love to give people experiences in life of what is truly out there. And it's not all negative. Like some people say, oh, I have this dark thing in my closet. And I'm like going, well, that's just a gnome. Because of the fact that many times when we're seeing something, it takes a lot of energy for spirit to become light. So if they're going to be doing work with us, many times they stay that less energetic moment. And like I've said this before, that like my youngest dealt with depression. Well, there was a fae, kind of a gnome, in the elemental, kind of gnomish looking, kind of an interesting character. Let me see if I can maybe get something that kind of looks like them. Kind of a little bit like this guy, here. And just kind of a little bit different, that maybe a little bit more like this guy here. Okay, so with that But my youngest worked with depression. Well, sometimes you have to have darkness to meet darkness, right? And so they would almost be that vacuum. They would help absorb that energy. Well, when they got to be really dark, I would walk in the room and kind of like when you clean up dirty laundry, you when you clean up dirty laundry, it kind of helps clean up the energy. Well, so what I did was I would kind of like put their energy outside and let nature take care of it. And I have a pond outside, and so that kind of helps cleanse the energy that's out there. With that as we're working with energies, many times we don't know truly what's out there. And it's one of those things that loving who we are and navigating through what we are. Sometimes we're in a funk and it's not even our own funk. It's either the energy out there that is like soup, which if we're intuitive and we very empathetic people will take on that energy without knowing it, and they start getting tummy aches, or they're waiting a little bit more than they want to. And there's just a bunch of different things going on. So with that, I want you to know that many times we need to be cleansed. Well, working with smudge and energies like that. And I didn't get out my tools, and I was told to do that, and I so apologize. So when you smudge yourself, so it's like getting a stick of incense. What you want to call it? Just a second. I'm going to get my things. So I apologize for this. Thank you. Okay, here we go. So my words aren't necessarily here. I was on the road for probably 11 hours yesterday. We have to go through a pass, and the pass was closed. So we had to sit in a truck. Luckily, I was with a really good friend, and we were able to have a great conversations. But it was a very long day, and then I had to get up bright and early and go to work today. So I'm kind of like a little loopy. So I apologize being tired. So having something like this, and then you burn it, that helps to clear. Now remember, you don't want to light the whole stick. You can break it off into a very protective dish. Metal, glass. Remember, glass is going to get hot. Metal will get hot. But do this protected. This is why you want to call in people that know what they're doing. Now, I have a shell that I use. Sorry about this, guys. Not feeling very professional here, but I'm doing my better because, like I said, I got home late and everything is just coming at me at one time here. So I use a shell. I use a shell, a conch shell. And what you do is you break up the sage and put it in little pieces, let's say little pieces like this, and you break it up and then you light it, and then you can smudge yourself. Okay, remember that it doesn't take it doesn't take a lot to do this, but smudge yourself regularly and you'll feel so much better. But remember, you have to do it safely. No wooden bowls, please. Wood, it's going to burn. And remember, sage is going to keep burning. So what I do is I put mine outside, and I have a lot of belief systems, and they're all with light and love. I work with the First Nation, Native American base, and so I have a statue or a representation of a chief outside. So after I get done smudging, as it's burning, I put it in front of him to honor that nation. And so with that, then that lets it burn itself out, but then it also does some honoring because, you know, tobacco and and smudging is part of their culture, which will help with that. Let's see. I had somebody who quoted here. Uh, so uh, let's see. Sue said, Plata Sado wood is what I use to smudge, or a sage bundle. Yes, exactly, Sue. Thank you very much. So, what is your stream about? So, my stream. So, those that are coming in later is I am a medium intuitive personal awareness coach, and on Instagram, this is my first time. So, I got people who are popping in on this, and I'm so grateful that they are. That I do weekly shows Wednesday at 4, and I'm going to start coming on Instagram to have some conversation. If you would like to learn more about me, I'm on YouTube, Natasha Venter, Angelic Clarifications, and you can catch a lot of my different shows that I've done. I believe in past lives. I believe in love. Everything that I do is about love. And as I work through love, I love to support people moving on. So I'm a personal awareness coach. I help people work through shame, guilt, troubles. Just, we've got so many personal stories that we're stuck in, and we've been taught shame so wonderfully from the people that we love. So, well, sometimes we don't love, but they taught us well. And going through life. So today's show is about I was just over at a friend's house that just bought a new house, and her house was very, I'm going to use the word haunted. There was a lot of spirits in them. I couldn't even count how many spirits. And one of the spirits who took control was an entity who was not, he was evil, pretty evil. He'd been there for centuries. And so he took ownership over a lot of different spirits. He was a collector. And you know how some people in life are collectors of people. Well, he was a collector of spirits too, after he passed. And so my girlfriend and I cleared him out, and now we cleared out a lot of spirits, and now it's cleaning out the rest of them. And that she's also intuitive, so she'll be able to do that. So with that I was talking about my experience over there. Knowing who we are and doing what we're doing, please know that we're not alone. And the angels and guides, it doesn't matter what you believe in. You can be anybody. Call in help and have help with life. Life is about moving forward. So with that I was kind of talking about having this experience about clearing out somebody's house, and I just thought this would be something that would be interesting to talk about. And here in about, let's see, I'm going to say about 20 minutes to the hour, I'm going to start doing card readings. And I do intuitive card readings. Being an intuitive, I love to give inspirational, just little moments here. So if you would like one, please mention in the comments. So on my phone, I'm on Instagram, and on my computer through StreamYard, I'm on Facebook, Twitter, and also YouTube. I've had about 4 hours a night of sleep for the last 5 nights, so I'm kind of running a little thin. So I apologize for my professionalism here. So with that, know that if you feel something is around you, you're at the sink doing something and you just feel something come up to you. Now remember, it could be your grandmother. It could be a sister. It could be someone who you love that's feeling that when you feel that, but you'll know if it's feeling right or wrong. Now, many of us are fearful if we feel anything. And I understand that because we just don't believe. We just don't believe, and that's okay. But I want you to know, though, that many times if you get the scent of a loved one, they're truly there. So believing in that, But if you get things that move quite a bit, or if you if you're having things fly off the walls, you might, like I said, I'm gonna repeat this a couple times. Call in somebody who knows what they're doing, because the fact that you can get rid of them, but you have to believe it. You have to believe that they're gone, because if you keep thinking that they're gonna come back, right? Okay, so I'm gonna segue this into, I would love to start doing card readings now. So anybody who would like to have a card reading. Now, remember, I'm keeping this as politically correct as I can. I want love and light to come. I want good information to come. So if you have any comments, please keep them legal and polite. But if you would like a card reading, please, please, I do not tap into anybody until they give me permission, and I'm not going to go into strong details here on streaming. If you want more details, have a private session with me, and I would love to do that. So Sue would like angel cards. Okay, so these are one set of fairy cards. These are Doreen Virtue's fairy cards, and they're just light and airy. And then I have the let's get down to seriousness fairy cards that I can also do. I have the oracle cards, and if you want to call these the ones with the moon and the cup, we can do that. And they're just basic messages for you. Let's see, the angel cards from Doreen Virtue. And then I also have animal cards. So if you want an animal, and then the map. The map is one that they just give you different messages, and I'll read a little bit on that one. Okay, so I'm going to do this. So let's see. Okay, so with Sue, you would like the angel cards. Okay, so what I'm asking is, when I do angel readings, I'm asking you, the one who I am in tuned with or tuning into, I'm asking you to put out there your wish. You don't have to mention that in the card or in the comments. Just put in your wishes and wants. Sometimes I just ask, what is my message that I'm meant to hear at this minute? And that will help the cards connect with you. Okay, so I'm going to start. I clear them here. Attention for the show. Light and the messages become clear for them. Okay, so let's see here. I am getting ready to pull cards, intuitive oracle cards. Remember, this is about not necessarily a belief system. This is about a spiritual walk. I'm talking about a spiritual walk here. And I love to help people awaken to their spiritualness. Not about religion. It's about their spiritualness, how to believe in themselves more. Okay, Sue, I'm tapping into you a little bit more here. What Sue needs to hear? Okay, I'm feeling this card here. So with that, okay, so this one here is, it's Sophian. Sorry, my dyslexia is a little bit going crazy here since I didn't sleep very well. I am the angel of families. A happy change or addition is coming to your family. It was upside down, which means there's a little bit of a block. So with that, Sue, what I'm feeling like is that as you have done that work in your home. Now, Sue and I have done some deep communication here, and I know her well, so I know what's going on in her life a little bit more. That I'm feeling that as you have cleared out this energy, remember those blocks that you were feeling, how you couldn't move forward? Well, guess what? They're going to help you move forward. You are shifting and changing up your family dynamics. So with that, I am the angel of families. Happy changes or addition is coming to your family. Knowing that as you're walking forward, you're going to probably feel a little bit clearer. You probably already have since you've done the work in your home. This is about that the things are changing. Okay, so now it's navigating with the people around you, and that's why this card is upside down. So as you're working with the people around you, walk your talk, my dear. Walk your talk, do your work. Stay positive as you can, and believe that the shifts and changes are coming, because I can tell you that the two people that are in your life, that they're going to see you lighten up and be who you are, and that's going to help them become who they are to be. Okay, there's also one more card for you. So I'm feeling like there's one more card. I'm hearing that intuitively. And being intuitive, I hear voices, see visions, and get feelings. So I was asking, where's this card? And it's in the back here. Okay, there we go. Another one upside down. Ha, Merlin. Merlin. I love Merlin. You know, they say that he was with King Arthur, and he really was, or at least in that region. You are confused and indecisive because you don't have enough information. Do research, seek expert advice before making decisions. Now, remember, that was upside down. Okay, so with that Merlin would like to come in and help you create magic in your life, but it's you believing it. Do some history on adding a little bit more magic into your life, and that will help you. So it's time for you to become more well-rounded and adding magic. And you don't have to be a Wiccan. You don't have to be a witch. You don't have to be anything to be more magical. It's about believing in the light and the spark. So with that, it's bringing that spark in. I hope that helps, Sue. I am hoping that brings in that moment, and we shall talk more if you're in need of that more. So Veronica here, I would love the newest fairy cards for a reading. Okay, so she was saying, let me make room here. I apologize, making room. She would like this deck. So that's these guys. Okay. And remember, anybody on Instagram, if you would like a card reading too, please let me know and I can do that for you. So with that, I'm asking this to be, so Veronica, put in your mind what your intention of it is, and some light. Okay. And Sue says, thank you. Thank you. You're more than welcome, Sue. And I know there's more to that, but I cannot put more details into that. I don't want to do that because of, I have a lot of integrity and I want to keep that integrity going. So this is for Veronica. Remember, if anybody else is listening and would like to have a card reading, please tap in. Okay. Oh, it passed by. There it is. Right there. Okay. And I think, Veronica, you have had this card before, haven't you? Must be circling back around to you because confirmations are confirmations. So with that, isn't that a neat picture? It's about having support. It's about having support. It's about having support. Okay, so let me I love these guys. They are just so cute. Just so cute. So number 46 here. 46. That's 49, 48, 46. There we go. Okay, so starter reading. She says, yes, she has had that card. Is that the card that I took a picture and sent it to you? But I think it would be good for everybody to hear this. So with that these guys are about friendship, support, aid. So a starter reading, okay? Starter reading is that friendly, Friendly cooperation with others is necessary to reach your mutual goals. Willingness to give and receive assistance and support is also required. Ask friends for help and suggestions. Listen with respect and accept the gifts of willingness offered. Unconditional receiving is even more difficult than unconditional giving. For a fact, 4 feet are more stable than 2. So remember that many times, a lot of us have a hard time receiving than giving. The receiving is part of that gift of moving forward. Okay, so that's what they were saying is 4 feet are stable than 2. Alternatively, Nellie Neff or Fairly Neff and Lockton may be saying that you will benefit at this time for offering support or aid to a friend. Look around you. Someone you love may be needing your help be needing your help and to be bound up by fear or rejection or pride to ask. So they may be feeling a little bit more fearful of asking, but you'll kind of notice that they need some help. And then that's where we can reach out. Volunteer your help to your friends and give unconditionally from a generous, loving heart. It will do you good. Increase your store of credit for help in time that you need. And it may even help them. So with that our story many times helps others, or us being empathetic can help them. And if they learn that we can be empathetic to them, well, sometimes that empatheticness can come back to us. So believe that as we support one, we support all. And many times, like I betcha that this guy here many times can come underneath and let him be on top, and he supports him. So it's that give and take. But remember, it's about our intention. What are we giving intentionally? Now, does that mean that we're supposed to give our clothes off our back? Well, there's some people that can, and they do. Yet at the same time, though, we're not supposed to give everything to everybody. But sometimes just that, are you okay? Like today, I work in an elementary school, just part-time. There was this one kid that just everything that he does, it's the string that breaks the camel's back because he's just having a hard time in life. So we just walked around undercovered area because it was raining. I don't know, about 15 times, and me just being with him, just talking, and sometimes not. We didn't talk half the time, but just being with him did give him an opportunity to step up a little bit out of that moment of being in that camel's back brokenness. So believing in who we are, doing the work that we're doing, it's just amazing. Okay. So is there anybody on Instagram who would like, I'm feeling like there's another card for you, Veronica, and I'm gonna go with that feeling. Three in. Oh, I heard 3 in. Okay. 1, 2, 3. I haven't had these cards. So they were upside down, but I'm going to put them upside right so you can see them. Aren't these cool dudes? I have not had this card yet. This is, I've always had the feeling and the knowing that the fairies, are the star beings of this planet. Kind of interesting because don't they look kind of like alien? Yeah, they are from that energy. So with that, but this was upside down. Okay, so 48. Let me go to 48. keep bouncing back and forth from either side of it. Isn't that the way it goes? You go to look for something and and you think it's in the front and it's in the back, and then vice versa. 48. Here I go. I turned right to it. Okay. So with that, this is about a collective of pixies. A collective of pixies. So with that right now somebody else joined, and hi, I'm doing intuitive card readings, and this is a deck that's a fairy deck that I've done for someone. So with that I'm reading. Okay, so I'm going to do the starter reading because I feel like them being upright would be good to hear. And so I am going to, and then I'm going to do the other one here. Okay, so starter reading. What is needed here is not only of awareness of duty, but a merry approach to it. This job has been done, so one might as well do it willingly. Progress through the dance maze step by step, lithely and lightly. Take joy and pride in an achievement. Approach the work with zeal, zest, and zing, and perhaps even a little bit of zinginess as well. Otherwise, you might as well not be bothered. Well, almost. There is something about the lightheartedness approach of your duty that is important at this time in order to achieve the results you want. Additionally, consider the words collective and cooperative as you make your plans. This situation may take more than one person, perhaps several working together to achieve the desired result. Join forces with others is appropriate at this time. Seek cooperation of friendship, family, co-workers, and fairies as appropriate. So this was reversed. So this was upside down, right? So with that when cards are upright, that means that we're in flow with it. When they're upside down, that means that we're having a little bit, it's almost like going over speed bumps. Life isn't necessarily going as well. Hi, Jade. How are you doing? I'm doing intuitive card readings. So my hour's coming up soon. I try to be done by 5. So I'm on from 4 to 5 on Wednesdays. And I'm going to start doing this on Instagram too on Wednesdays when I don't have a guest, because my guests can't see what's going on. That as we're going through life and managing things, that many times we want to do things, and I'm an intuitive, so I love to help people work through life. So now I'm going to read this card upside down, so reverse. When pixies haven't let me start all over. When pixies haven't enough to do, they tend to get into mischief together. Yeah, my glasses disappeared again. They keep taking my glasses. They decide they ought to lead the travelers astray, chase the farmer's cows from the field, tangle with computer wires, and tickle its memory and cross the telephone wires. Making sure everyone involved knows that they are expected to do here, and that they have enough work to keep them busy without being overloaded. Alternatively, some people may be dragging their feet, not getting their job done, perhaps, and then not delivering. Invite them to join the dance. If possible, help them to see the joy and the satisfaction to be found in doing a good job carefully. Set a good example. So with that Veronica, I know what you're going through, because Veronica's a client of mine, and we've been doing some major talking lately, and I know you got some coworkers. So with that, this card was about bringing joy in. It's almost like having squirrel medicine. Squirrel medicine is about work, but have fun while you're doing your work. So with that, bring them in if you can, and have the process of navigating. So those that just joined, you can have an oracle card, which is basically getting uh, having that. We can have the map series, which if you would like, they're just messages. They're just messages. You can have a fairy deck, like I just called. You can have the angel cards. They're simple, like that. And this is the simpler fairy deck. So if you would like to have a reading with some cards, please put it in, because I'm coming up on that hour, and I'm going to give a few minutes for somebody to put in what they would like to do. I am so grateful. If there's somebody wants to put in a card reading that they would like, I am so grateful that, for one, that who I am, because of the fact that if you watch the beginning of the show, that, and you can, if this is not on Instagram, I don't know if it's going to go on my feed or not, that if you go to YouTube or my Facebook page, Natasha Venter, Angelic Clarifications, you will find this whole video that I talked about helping a friend be in a very haunted, you can call it, house. Not all bad spirits, but there's one major one. And I'm so grateful that I was able to be there helping them do this work. And that's why I wasn't live yesterday. Navigating through the waters of life. I'm so grateful that who I am, because I am one that I love to bring light and love to people. I love to leave people better than I found them. My integrity lets me hold on to standing clearly in what we're doing. And I know many of my friends who know me and have had sessions with me that they kind of tell me, Natasha, you have a perspective of awareness that I don't know where you get it from, but you do. I love to help you see what I see. And like, I was riding home with a friend, and we spent a good, probably, it was what, 9-10 hours in a car together. And we didn't know each other. We actually we've met before because I've done a class where she took it, but this is the first time we spent time physically together. And she said, Natasha, you were my miracle today. You were my angel today. Thank you. And I was grateful to be there, because of the fact that we were driving on very icy roads, and I was driving her truck because she was so anxiety ridden. I had trust. Knowing who we are, being who we are. It's okay. It's okay, no matter who you are. I want you to know that since I haven't gotten any comments, it's time for me to go. If you would like to have a session with me, a private session, please go to my website, angelicclarifications.com. And I'm actually running a special until the end of July, or end of January. So at the end of January 2022, this special is going to go away. Right now it's $80 for a session for an hour. You can go to angelicclarifications.com to connect with me to have a session. I would love to support people going through what we're going through. And many of us are going through something, and these holidays are triggering many of us. I know for me, I have navigated through my grief system. And I call it a system because I've been doing it for so long, that grief has really been hitting me. And yet that's okay, because it's a cycle around. I've lost my parents now 28 and 24 years ago. And this was my first year that my youngest had moved away. So I had a kind of a little bit of domino effect here, but I'm getting through it. I'm loving light. And actually, going and doing this house clearing kind of got me a little derailed from being in my own head, which was a blessing. So with that, I'm going to be on Instagram now, 4 o'clock Pacific time, 4 p.m. Pacific time on Instagram, and you can find me here. And if you would like to also find me on my YouTube page or Facebook page or Twitter page, you can go to that, Natasha Venter. And on Twitter and Instagram, it's Natasha Venter 11. And on the other ones, it's Natasha Venter Angelic Clarifications. I hope everyone has received something from this video, that you are not alone, that life is happening around us, that it's okay to be human, having emotions. And remember that as the news and all the political things that are going on, check in. What is truth? What truly is truth? We all have a different perspective. We all have a different belief system. And it's okay if you have yours. It's okay if you have yours. Blessings to you on your journey. And I would love to support you in who you are. I will see you again on Instagram here next Wednesday. And anybody else who's watching anywhere else, I'm going to be here on Monday with Regan Forreston, who he enjoys. He does a lot of work through the Newton Institute with past lives and working through that. And hi, Patricia. How are you? You just came onto Facebook. Thank you for reaching out. And I'm sorry, Patricia, but you just came on and it's just time for me to leave. So please go to watch the beginning of this video, because there is a lot of information. I had an amazing 24-hour process of doing some work with spirit. Blessings with all, love to all. Have a great day. Bye now.